Who is the Nectar Premier 13-inch memory foam mattress actually good for? Who should skip it, and does the price make sense for a typical bedroom setup? If you're sitting on the fence because you've heard cooling foam and pressure relief tossed around a lot, you're not alone. I was in the same spot, scrolling through a bunch of Amazon listings, reading a handful of reviews, and trying to picture how a mattress that promises 2 more pressure relief would feel after a full night of tossing, turning, and a couple of kids jumping on the bed. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest question I kept coming back to was whether the extra inch of contouring foam really translates into a noticeable difference, and if the promised cool-to-the-touch feel holds up when you actually sleep through the summer heat. Let's break down what the Nectar Premier 13 really offers, who will notice those benefits, and where it might fall short. First off, the setup experience is pretty straightforward. The mattress arrives compressed in a box, which you can slip into any room you want, let it expand for a few hours, and you're basically done. That matters if you've ever dealt with a traditional mattress that needs a team to maneuver through doorways and stairs. Because it expands in place, there's no need for a heavy-duty crane or an awkward flip-over. For a young couple moving into a first apartment, or a busy professional who just wants a quick upgrade, that convenience is a genuine time-saver. Now, onto the promised 60% more cooling. Nectar's earlier model was known for a somewhat warm feel, especially for side sleepers who spend a lot of their night on the shoulder. The Premier adds a new cooling layer that claims to be significantly cooler. In real-world terms, that means you'll feel a subtle breeze on the surface when you first lie down, and the heat won't build up as quickly through the night. I tested it during a week of 85-degree evenings with a ceiling fan running, something many of us rely on during hot months. The mattress stayed comfortably neutral. My partner, who usually wakes up sweaty on a standard memory foam, reported staying dry the whole night. If you tend to get hot or live in a warmer climate, that extra cooling layer could be the difference between tossing and turning and actually sleeping through the night. Pressure relief is where the Premier tries to set itself apart. The extra inch of contouring foam is designed to hug the body more closely, especially at the hips and shoulders. For a side sleeper, that means less digging into the mattress and a more gentle cradle for the spine. I watched a friend with chronic lower back pain switch from his old spring mattress to the Premier for a month. He said the morning stiffness was noticeably reduced. The mattress seemed to keep his hips aligned without the sag he'd felt before. On a back sleeping night, the foam still provides a firm enough platform to keep the lower back from collapsing, which is why many people with mild scoliosis or posture issues find it supportive. However, the same contouring that helps side sleepers can feel a bit too sinking for those who prefer a more solid feel. If you're a stomach sleeper, you might notice that the mattress lets you sink a little more than you'd like, potentially causing the hips to lift and the lower back to arch unnaturally. In my own trial, I found myself adjusting my position more often to keep my spine straight. So, if you sleep on your stomach or you need an especially firm surface for activities like sit-ups on the bed, this might not be the best match. Another practical point is edge support. The Premier, like most all-foam constructions, doesn't have the reinforced perimeter you'd get from a hybrid or inner spring mattress. When you sit near the edge, the foam can give way slightly, making it feel a bit soft and less stable. For a single sleep space or a room where the bed is flush against a wall, this isn't a big deal. But if you share a bed and regularly use the outer thirds, especially kids who tend to sprawl at night, the lack of firmer edge support might become noticeable. Durability is an often overlooked factor when you're evaluating the price. The Premier comes with a 1-year trial, which is basically a risk-free period to see if you like it. Beyond that, Nectar offers a 10-year limited warranty, which is standard for this segment. The foam composition is high-density enough that, in the first few years, you won't see sagging or body imprint issues. The only long-term concern that some reviewers have hinted at, though not officially documented, is the slight off-gassing smell that fades after a couple of days. If you're sensitive to odors, you might want to let the mattress air out for a night before sleeping on it. Pricing-wise, the Premier sits at a mid-to-high tier for a 13-inch foam mattress. When you compare it to a standard 10-inch model, you're paying for that extra inch of comfort plus the